seed starting time is here, and if it isn't here for you yet, it's coming right around the corner. So how in the world am I going to get all of this garden space planted with little kids? I'm going to give you my best tips for getting your garden planted, even if you have little kids to take care of. My first tip to you is going to be prepared to do things in small sections. We don't have hours to just put into working on the garden at a time solidly without interruptions for snacks and diaper changes and nap times and all sorts of things that come with having little kids. So one thing that really helps me is to work in very small increments. I might only get 5 things potted at one time, and that's okay. It's still 5 things I didn't have potted before. Another tip I have for you is to make a workstation somewhere in your house that is high enough that the little hands can't reach it, but that it's easily accessible to you if your kids are entertained for a minute and you have a quick minute to be able to get some seeds started. I bring in a small bucket of my potting soil. I have my cups stacked up over here, and then I just have some trays, and I will quickly fill them up, put some seeds in when I have a moment, and take them one at a time and put them under my grow light. It's a easy way to get a little bit done. I have a couple free seconds right now, so I'm just gonna put up some of my hibiscus seeds. I'm just gonna take a little bit of dirt from my bucket, get it into my seed starting pots, give it a little pack. And then the trick with the hibiscus seeds, or hibiscus, is you want to rub them a little bit. These seeds are from my grandmother's plant. So the key is to take a nail file and you want to gently rub just a little bit on there, and it will kind of score that outer coating on the shell. And by scoring it a little bit with the nail file, that will help it germinate faster. So I'm going to pluck one of these into each of my seed starting cells. I got 6 done before I got called away to the kids again, but it's 6 more than I had done a few minutes ago. So if you can just do this a little bit at a time, you're going to have it done before you know it. All right, I got it done. Now I'm just gonna top these with some soil and pop them under my grow light until I see some sprouts. Now I'm just gonna pop them under my grow light. Some of my salad is starting to come up. This method works out really well for me because I don't often have like a stretch of 3 hours that I can sit in the greenhouse and work on plants, but I have a lot of small moments that I can get some stuff done. Work with where the kids want to be. When they want to be outside, I try to get stuff done outside. When they want to be inside, I work on stuff inside. So I have planting stations indoors and outdoors. This is my outdoor planting table, which anything I don't want the kids getting their hands on gets thrown up here when it's not in use over the winter and stuff. And it needs some TLC, but this is real life homesteading with little kids. This is not picture perfect in a magazine, and this is what we're dealing with. If you can learn how to do things one-handed, you're going even better. Because a lot of times, they don't give you both hands. And don't forget about baby wearing. That's something you can really use to your advantage when you have little kids. My daughter is boycotting baby wearing, but when she was little, that's how I got most of my work done when she was asleep. She would fall asleep if I mowed the yard, She loved being in there for her naps, and that's when I was the most productive, was when she was asleep in the baby carrier. I've also taken the baby stander out to the garden with me so she can stand in there and play when she was little, and I could get some work done. So just finding those little things that'll help you are big. Another suggestion I have for you is to invest in a camera that is either completely wireless that you can monitor from your phone, or that reaches really far. The typical baby monitor that you can get from the store doesn't even reach my back porch. So when you have those moments where your kids are actually sleeping, you're going to want to have a way to be able to keep an eye on them while still being able to work on some stuff outside that you might not be able to do when they're awake. I like to have things, I don't want to say perfect, but I like to have things done the right way. And I've had to learn with little kids that sometimes good enough is enough. And so sometimes we have to understand that we're not going to be able to do it all the time. So good enough is enough, and that's going to be good enough for today. Another tip I have for you is to create spaces for the kids in or next to the garden or near the places where you're needing to work. So I have this big trampoline really close to my small garden, and I am working on creating spaces in my big garden where the kids can have a shaded place to play with water tables, maybe a swing, so that they can enjoy being out there with me while I'm working on the garden, and we can still be like in the same vicinity. I can keep an eye on them and also get some work done at the same time. So take advantage of the opportunities when they want to go out to those areas to get some work done. And then my final tip for you is going to be plant extra. I did 4 trays of broccoli seedlings yesterday, and I have a lot more to put into their own little pots, and my kids want to help, and just stuff happens, like I might trip and drop some, or life happens. So plant extra, because you know with little kids you probably are going to have some accidents, and that's fine because they want to help in the garden, and that's great. We want them there. So those are my tips for you for getting planting done with little kids. Let me know what your tips are. I'd love to hear it, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.